call it shower souffle or white fluffy creamy stuff for in the shower. And there's a bunch of different names for this stuff, and I just like to call it whipped soap or shower souffle to my customers and on my labels and stuff like that, which I know there's like a whole whipped soap world out there that I don't know about, but that's just kind of what I prefer to call it. It's whipped soap, makes it easy for my customers to understand. Now today I'm going to be using this recipe from DIY Bath and Body Shop, and I totally spilled some water on here whenever I was measuring my stuff out, so just disregard that water. This lady, her name is Sandra, and her last name's really hard to pronounce. I think it's French because she is from Canada. Sandra Labozere. That's really sad. I took 2 years of French in high school. Labozere. I bet it's Bozere. And she's a licensed esthetician and a makeup artist for 14 years, and that was whenever she wrote this, so I bet now it's probably like 20. So anyways, super sweet lady. She's on Etsy. I purchased this recipe for $10. The ingredients for it, you know, they're not something that you really want to kind of like play with. You really need to know what you're doing whenever you're making this stuff, because if you play around too much, you're going to end up throwing a lot of money down the drain. So I was like, well, this lady had several purchases on her Etsy account, tons of great reviews, so I trusted her. So I purchased this. I do want to let you know, I did use the Stevenson's foaming whip bath base. I ordered 5 containers of that before I did this, and it was really cool, but it was really hard to whip up. It wasn't what I imagined. It smelled like soap, so I had to use a lot of my fragrance oil to cover that up, and it just, I don't know, I was really expecting something a lot different. Maybe it's because at the time I didn't have a KitchenAid mixer, so maybe that's why I couldn't get it to whip up real well, but I just wasn't impressed for the price, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it myself. So, found Miss Sandra's recipe. She has okayed it with me to tell or to demonstrate it. Of course, I'm not gonna give it away. That's rude and tacky. And so she does know that I'm making this video, and I'm going to put a link to her Etsy shop in here. Super sweet lady. Ask her any questions that you want. She'll respond right back almost immediately. She has a lot of recipes on there too that are really neat. She's got a marshmallow recipe and a solid bubble bath recipe, then cookie recipe, manicure recipe. She's got all kinds of crazy recipes on there, and you get discounts for doing more than one at a time. Okay, so let's see here. Let's start from the beginning. Oh, and whenever you buy her recipes, you don't just get a recipe on a piece of paper. You get a stinking book, like it, and then she breaks it all down on one piece of paper, like just the actual recipe part. But you get like a background about the product, what you can use it for, moisturizing cream body cleansers, shampoos, shaving cream, exfoliating sugar and salt scrubs, body meringue, and parfaits. It's got a mild pH of 5.5. I mean, like, this lady, she is on it. She is on her Etsy recipe game. Okay, all right, so this is my pot. We're gonna have to do a little bit of cooking. So I've got it in here. I don't have a double boiler because guess what? I'm a struggling entrepreneur, but I do have another big pot sitting over there on the stove with some water boiling in it that this is gonna sit down in. So this is where I wanna start first. I'm going to get my SCI. I'm gonna get my SCI. This is a surfactant that Miss Ann at makeyourown.buzz or Save on Citric, Miss Ann calls it baby soap. It's one of the most mild soaps or surfactants on the market, okay? And you can get it in a powder. I'm just getting the lumps out. It's really soft, and it's very airborne. I probably should have a mask on, but honestly, the mask, like, make it stick to my face worse. So anyways, this SCI stuff's kind of a hot commodity right now. Everybody's wanting to use it. You can use it in bath bombs. You can use it in, I did make some bubble bars with it. I did a test, like a chemical experiment one time with the SCI. It was a very expensive experiment. Let me just say that. I used the bubble bar recipe, or I'm sorry, the solid bubble bath recipe with the SCI, or the SCI with one, and then the SLSA on another. And I actually had better results with the SLSA, but they both worked. So anyways, we've got the really gentle, mild SCI in here. Can't tell you how much is in here, because then I'd be giving away her recipe. But, as you can tell, it's quite a bit. Alright, so I've got that kind of crunched up there really well. So soft. Now, I'm going to add my stearic acid. And she tells us in here that stearic acid is a vegetable source fatty acid used to thicken and stabilize cosmetic formulations. It's also used extensively in soap making. Appearance is that of a waxy flake or little balls. This is little balls. Okay? So I'm mixing this in here. I did make a big batch of this once, and it went terribly wrong. It had something to do with the way I added my ingredients together. It was either that, or I had spilt some baking soda. I know this makes no sense, but I had used the wrong measuring cup once in my SCI and my baking soda, and I think I mixed some baking soda up in my SCI, and it really ruined my base. I don't know if that was it, or if I just mixed these things up wrong, or what. So, you just want to be kind of careful and take your time. I'm going to step off to the side because that is airborne. And I don't want to turn the fan on. I think that would just make things worse. Okay, so we got stearic, we have the SCI, the stearic acid. Those are the only two dry ingredients that we have. So the next ingredient that I'm going to add is going to be the water, the distilled water. If anybody knows why you have to use distilled water in cosmetic making, drop it in the comments. My theory, my hypothesis has something to do with minerals in the water. Since I'm close to Hot Springs, Arkansas, I could only think that maybe like the minerals in regular tap water could do something to the other chemicals and ingredients that you're using. I've just wondered that. I mean, I've always used the distilled water whenever it calls for it, and I've wondered why that is. Why do I need distilled water? So that would be something cool for you guys to fill me in on. All right, it gets really thick, so all I'm doing, nothing fancy in here. Just, you know, mixing up the water. Alrighty. Getting it all out of the cracks. Now, I believe I read in her pamphlet that SCI needs a little bit of help dissolving, and it typically dissolves the best in another surfactant. Oh, that's interesting, right? So, the next ingredient I'm going to put in here is oh, you know what? I want to do this last. I like to do the things that I feel like are going to have the least amount of impact on my chemicals. Like, I like to do those at the very end. And so let me measure out my glycerin, because guess what? Stephanie forgot, because I get too excited. And there is no redoing this. This is all I have. The SCI, this is all I have. So it's gotta be right first time, or I'm in bad shape. This video tutorial will be for nothing. All right, so You see, I can't say it out loud because it's super top secret. Hope you guys can't zoom in over here. That would be rude. Oh, and I gotta switch my thing. All right. Zoom that out. Okay, let me look at my secret formula here. Oh, come on. All right, all right. Oh, what? Zero out. You always got to make sure you zero that thing out, man. I have messed some stuff up by forgetting to do that. Holy moly. I have messed stuff up. Come on. Okay, perfect. And her recipe is done in grams. I'm just here in the States where we don't know much about all that. Okay, oh goodness, this is starting to harden up. I better get to moving. Shouldn't have done that, it took too long. Now I gotta pour my cocoa betaine in there. And I gotta get it on the stove. All right, sit there, it took too long, that's why you gotta do it fast. It's all hard, but guess what? Heat does amazing things. I'm gonna go put this on the double boiler, I'll be right back. Okay, well that's on the double boiler. I am going to show you guys, I'm going to show you guys how to make it into something usable. All right, so I've got, now this is me, okay, this is my doings, my recipe, I guess you could say. It's not really a recipe, it's just formulations. I wouldn't want to take credit for it or anything like that. This is approximately 8 ounces of the whipped foaming whipped base, whatever the heck you want to call it. You guys know what I'm talking about by this point in time. Okay. Alrighty, so I've got about 8 ounces of this in here. Now, this poor little guy right here has lost several teeth, I guess that's what you would call them, from back whenever I did buy the Stevenson's base, because it was so thick, I was breaking the teeth off of this. So that kind of sucked. But, let's see, let's hope this, oh, I have to move my plug-in. Move my plug-in after we test it out. I have a KitchenAid, but then I feel like you can't see what I'm doing. All right, just had to move the little outlet so I have some more room here. Okay. Oh, probably should have pulled my hair up. All right, so I've got 8 ounces in here, and let's just hope this little guy works. Bless his little heart. He's had it. He's had it. Go fling it everywhere. It's not in the KitchenAid. Okay. So take a look at this. That's just a little bit so far. Let me go check on this over here. I'll be right back. Oh yes. Oh, I need a little bit. melting together. I will bring it over there and show you guys here shortly. All right, so we've got the whipped soap base made up there, or well, we've got it kind of starting to cream up. And I hear that you can make this stuff collapse. I've yet to have that happen to me, so I would pay attention to that. Don't get too crazy with it. It whips up so fast and so fluffy that I stop because I feel like it's good. Okay, so for every 8 ounces of base, you're going to use a couple of squirts of glycerin. Just going to go boop, boop, just like that. Sound effects and all, you got to do the sound effects. Get it off. I'll have that on my ceiling by the time we're done. Okay, so look at that. Oh my gosh, 8 ounces, guys, 8 ounces. That's crazy, it's not even a pound. Okay, so got that. Now you can add up to, I would say 10% in carrier oils. So I want to do coconut oil. So I can add up to about an ounce to an ounce, and sometimes I even overdo it because honestly, I haven't had this stuff separate on me yet. I did have my Stevenson's separate on me, so it made me a little bit paranoid about too much carrier oil, but I have yet to have this separate on me. And the other day I did quite a bit of coconut oil. Like I was like, let's just try it out. So I just did 1.5 ounces of coconut oil melted. It's from MakeYourOwn.buzz, a gallon of coconut oil for $19.49. That's nuts. I've had this thing since I was born, basically. Not really, but I have had it for a long time, and I love it. Okay, so now I'm whipping it up again. Getting creamy. Oh, beautiful. This is so beautiful. Like you will really want to eat it. Everybody always says that when I post it. I want to eat it. I want to eat it. Let me go check on my other stuff. Alrighty, now got my little spatula here. There's nothing special about this spatula, just a plain old spatula. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, guys. Pretty amazing, right? Now what? Now what are we gonna do? Now, I'm thinking about making this a dual color whip. So, it's gonna get a little crazy, get a little fancy with it. I'm going to, oh wait, no, first I'm going to add my fragrance oil. Sorry about that, I get so excited. First I'm gonna add my fragrance oil. I've got sugared lemon and lavender fragrance oils, and I'm gonna do a tablespoon. I'm gonna do about half and half. half lavender, half lemon. This stuff is so potent. I had somebody pick this up for me in Conway that was coming through Conway that day, and she said she picked this up for me, the lavender and my citric acid, and she told me whenever we met up, she said my whole car smells like lavender, and it was in a box wrapped up with like specialty tape and everything, and you could smell the lavender in her car. And it's about an hour drive from here to there. Pretty wild. So that stuff, that'll make you smell some smell. All right, I'm gonna mix it up. And then right here is where I would add my sugar if I was going to add sugar for a scrub, or my salt for a scrub, or anything, any kind of exfoliating additive. This is where I would add it, and myself personally, I would do up to 6 ounces. Okay, let me go check my stuff. Sounds like the water's boiling. Okay. All right, and in her recipe it does say that will take up to about 30 minutes to melt all the way. And it's being a little turd because I didn't have my glycerin ready to go. Gotta do it fast so that those things don't start bonding together. Okay, so I wanna try 2 different colors because I did lavender and lemon. I wanna do purple and yellow, of course. So I'm gonna scoop out some in here. I don't need to measure it or anything like that. This doesn't have to be perfect because guess what? It's all going into the same jar. All right, so I think that's a little bit too much. Okay, so I've got that and that, and I've got these 3 micas. I've got glitter gold mica. I've got green yellow fluorescent, aka yellow fluorescent mica, and I've got purple fluorescent mica. Okay, now I'm adding the gold to the yellow because I don't want it to be like sunshine yellow. I want it to be a soft yellow. So adding gold to it kind of knocks it down just a notch so it doesn't have such an attitude. So I'm gonna just start out just using a teeny tiny bit there, and then I'm gonna do a little bit gold. That gold mica is my favorite. I use it to paint my bombs a lot. So awesome. So I'm mixing it up until I see what color comes of it. If I don't like the color, I'm gonna keep adding because you can always add more, you can't ever take out. And I'm going for some soft colors. So I do not see enough yellow in here. So I'm going to add some more. I think I was being such a scaredy cat. I really underdid it. So scared. Okay. All right, ready? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you're getting too crazy. I'm gonna. Woo! Oh yeah. And I always start out doing my light color first, so that I'm slinging this across my room This is so funny. Okay, that is what I've got so far. Okay, and I always start out with the lighter color first. That way I don't have to worry about washing this off. I can just keep going right on through. A little bit of that's not going to hurt this. So I'm going to start out with about that much mica. Just always underdo it so you don't overdo it, because one time I had like way vibrant colors. I didn't like it. This is definitely why I would suggest a KitchenAid, but I just felt like you guys couldn't see what I was doing. And plus, you may not have a KitchenAid. You may not have one. I was just blessed with one. A family member, my sister-in-law, and my brother gave me one. So I got super lucky. Those things are freaking outrageous. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go check that one more time. Be right back. Looking creamy. Still have some good lumps in there though. Okay, so, all right. So Stephanie, how do you get it in those jars to look so pretty? Oh my goodness, there's an awesome, easy trick to it. So I've got some piping bags here. Fold it over like that. I'm gonna fold one over. Since I'm doing two colors, I'm doing two different ones. We've got two different tips here. This one is like that. Keep in mind, I'm not a baker, so I could be doing this all wrong and not even know it, but guess what, it works. So, and I've got that one. It's got like the little thingies right there. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this. I'm going to fill one of these up. Just like so. And it's okay if you don't mix all the mica up totally perfect, because little burst of color is really fun. Don't take the handmade out of your product. I think we sometimes try to be so perfect about this stuff that we forget the whole reason people are buying this stuff from us is, for one, because it's cool looking, and for two, because it's handmade, homemade. It's not in a factory, it's in our kitchen, you know? So don't take the homemade out of the, don't take the home out of the homemade. Miss Ann told me that. I'll never forget it. Miss Ann up there at Chemistry Connection, she told me that. Don't take the home out of the homemade. She didn't say it like that though. She doesn't have that accent like I do. All right, now I'm gonna put this in there. Smells so yummy. It smells like a cookie. It's like a lavender and lemon cookie. Gosh, I'll never forget the first time I ate a lavender cupcake. It was a lemon lavender cupcake. And I was like, that's so weird. Who eats lavender? It's a flower or something, a weed. I don't even know what it is. But I knew that it was like, it belonged in potpourri, not in my food. So guess what? I bought it because I like doing or trying weird, crazy things out of the norm. Let's see. And it was really good. Holy moly, guess what I have over in my kitchen cabinet? Lavender extract for whenever I cook something that could use that. All right, wipe my hands off. This stuff gets pretty messy. All right, so I've got my Wilton bags here. Doesn't have to be Wilton, it can be anything else. And you can reuse these bags. So don't throw them away. You can totally reuse them, okay? Do a little bit of sanitizing. I'm gonna set these right in here. This is rubbing alcohol. Okay, all right, now, here's some lovely jars from MakeYourOwn.buzz. Oh, look, they have seals and lids. They come with seals and lids, 69 cents a piece. Can't beat that. And that, well, that's only if you buy 10. If you buy more, you get a bigger break, obviously. Wholesale discount. All right, ready? Here we go. Hope you guys can see this. Actually, I'm gonna move this right here to make sure that you guys can see this. Okay. All right, I'm gonna start in the middle and just kind of go like that, okay? I'm barely moving. This stuff will find its place. This stuff will find its place in the world. You don't have to put it there. It'll find its place where it's supposed to go. All right, you see the tip? That's the kind of pattern that you're gonna get with that flower tip. And then this is the kind of pattern you're gonna get with that tip. Okay, now I'm gonna finish these off with this. Now here at the very end, I'm probably gonna get a little bit fancy with it for my pictures. Because you want people to understand how stinking fluffy this stuff is. Voila! Looks good enough to eat, but don't eat it, it's disgusting in your mouth. Okay, so I've got those, just need some beautiful little labels. Okay, now let's go check this stuff over here. Be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. So let's see what we've got here. I did have to cut the video off because this was taking about 30 minutes for it to dissolve and everything. Don't do what I did and wait too long to add all of your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients. You want to do it pretty quickly. If you do, you're going to get a solid mass. That's okay. That's okay. Don't panic. It will dissolve, okay? So I've got my little thermometer there, here, because I'm going to be adding my preservative up next, which is Optifin, okay? She talks about that preservative and why she likes to use it, because of course we used water in this recipe, so we've got to have a preservative in there. So what I've got in here, after I shut the heat off and took it off the heat, this is what I have, okay? It's kind of starting to solidify on top. Now for it to absorb the Optifin, I need it to not be solid, right? But then also, it can't be over 100 degrees because then that will kill my preservative. We don't want to kill the preservative. So I'm gonna mix this up and I'm going to get it out of here so it will cool off a little bit quicker. I'm gonna get it out of here and I'm gonna put it in a container and I'm gonna show you the next few steps. All right, so I've got this large container right here. And actually I'm gonna put this on the table because Lord knows it'll end up in the floor if I don't. I'm quite a klutz. All right, so I'm gonna hold it over and pour it on in there. Just scraping, scraping, scraping. And you're gonna be noticing just a little teeny tiny bit of a soap smell. Nothing like the pre-made base that you buy from those big manufacturers. kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. That's why you don't have to use very much fragrance oil to cover that up. It's a very, very clean smell. And it's a not like ivory soap smell. It's a different kind of soap smell. The homemade soap smell. Alright, so okay, I'm gonna spread it out here. And I checked this right before I pulled it out of there with my little thing, and it was right at 100 degrees. So let's see if it's cooled off. Surely it has. It's starting to turn pretty solid. Now, also, you could have like a high-tech fancy thermometer. I've seen them where you can like shoot it at the chemicals. That way you don't have to do this old school way. I think this is like a candy thermometer. So we are right at 100 degrees. So what we're gonna do is we're going to pour our Optifin in. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I was calling it Odafin. No, it had a P in it. It had a P. So I'm gonna stir it up in there. Yeah, stir it in real good. Mix it up. Get all around the corners and the edges. We want it dissolved in there. Look how creamy that is. This is like the creamiest batch I think I've ever made. So creamy. Okay. So, and then, I'm not sure why, but Sandra has us use a stick blender at this point. Maybe it's her magic touch. I have my magic wands that I use whenever I'm making bath bombs. I tell everybody it's a magic wand, and it's actually just a wooden stick or wooden spoon, not a wooden stick. Okay, so this is what Miss Sandra says to do, up to a minute, and probably not going to do it up to a minute because that would make for a really long, much longer video. She talks about going and keeping the bottom of your stick blender submerged and just hit it. Sounds like a revving a motorcycle. So, I'm probably not doing like Miss Sandra would do. Miss Sandra would probably do this a lot better. This is the first time I ever used a stick blender was in this kind of stuff, soap making stuff. Ooh, yeah. It's nice. I'm feeling good about it. Feeling good about my Optifin being mixed in there real well. Feeling good. Say no to mold. Say no to mold, guys. Optifin says no mold. Y'all probably thinking I'm crazy. I'm just this little Arkansas girl with all these Arkansas accents. Look how thick that is. So what's the best thing about this stuff? As you can tell, guess what? Doesn't have to set up very long, does it? Nope. I'll be able to use it by tonight if I wanted to. Just to make what I made earlier. Getting it all out there. This stuff's like gold. It's like liquid gold, people. You can make face washes. You can make anything. That's what I always say. I can make anything. Alright, so I feel good. Feel good about my Optifin being in there real good. I'm going to spread it out like butter. Yes. And don't want to waste anything. There we go. Alright, we're going to call that a day. Throw these over here. Put over there. Got my lid. And Sandra says to put a lid on it and allow it to sit for 6 to 8 hours or overnight. But Miss Sandra, good news is Mine will be ready in about 4 hours. Hot dog. So I put it in there. Gonna write my date on it. Can't tell you how many ounces it is, because then you little genius calculator people might could figure out the super secret recipe. So let's see, today is what, July, is it the 7th? I think it's the 7th. We'll just say that. July 17th, foaming whip base. Done. Now you can get out there and you can get your jars from Make Your Own Buzz. Pipe it in there, do whatever you want, do it one color, add some glitter, add some sugar, add some jojoba beads. I love saying that word, jojoba beads, add some coffee grains, add whatever you want to add. God, this smells so heavenly. Sell it, label it, sell it. Go big or go home, that's what I say. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you so much. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I made it pretty easy. Just remember, mix your ingredients quickly. Don't panic if they clump up. The heat will do magical things and dissolve them all. It just takes a little bit longer, as you've seen. So have a nice day. And also, this is a good product. We talked about catering to different audiences. It's a good product to cater to different audiences. And we also talked about making do-it-yourself kits. How about do-it-yourself whipped soaps? Give people a recipe, make a little kit, sell it at your fairs, your shows and events, all that good stuff. Super easy. Those folks can do it at home. No problem. Thanks, guys.